Geoffrey Hantson, Chief Creative Officer of Happiness, an FCB alliance.
Geoffrey Hantson. All right, so I'm going to be vulnerable. Let me be honest with you. Like 3 or 4 days ago, I still really didn't know what I was going to talk about. The reason is the thematics, creativity for better. It's quite open, and I really didn't know what to say. Like creativity, what do you want me to say about creativity? It's like quality. There's nothing you can say about it. It's so general. Is there anybody who doesn't want creativity? So I don't know what to talk about. For better, is that anybody wanting creativity for worse? So it didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't know. Luckily, Diana from IAA just told me that, why don't you just share a few secrets to come to better creative? So that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to share some secrets. I'm going to share 5 of them, and you'll tell me if it makes sense afterwards, okay? So, here we go. The name of our agency is Happiness, and the secrets I'm going to share, by the way, the most important one, I like to start with the end, so that if you don't listen, at least you will have heard this one. The most important secret I'm going to share you is creative culture. It's a very evident one. It's not a creative department, it's not creative talent, not people, it's just basically a creative culture of an agency that is crucial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share about 5 points that are my favorite ones, secrets, but that might be a bit unusual if you compare it to the other secrets that people give about creativity. So the first one, as you notice, the name of our agency is Happiness. So guess what? We believe that in a world, you know, this is the world we live in. We live in the world of yes, no, black, white. You're for something, against something. It's yes and no, and it's a lot of polarization, and there's a lot of hate speech out there. Now, I dare you to try. Try to use happiness in such a world, which means try to be constructive and positive all the time. People will really go like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They will, you know? If people are reacting in certain ways, and especially in agencies and in our industry, there's a lot of cynicism. You know, the agencies, it's going bad, the networks are going bad, it's difficult. And try to be constructive and positive all the time. In such a world, it makes a huge difference. This is the basic rule that we have in big in our agency, and I know it sounds fluffy, but it's not. Happy people make great work, and great work is what makes people happy. We have it in big letters on the wall of every agency we have. And what does that mean? That means that obviously, again, our name is Happiness, and a lot of time, there's a lot of work. So a lot of time it's not happiness, but it's happy stress, for sure. But it can never be sadness, never. So we have, for example, we have a plan in the agency that is called What Would Make You Happy? So people can actually choose if they want to step into a logical, rational, normal way of being rewarded, like you get a raise when you do a good job or you get a bonus, that's one way of going, or you step into a plan that is called What Would Make You Happy? And there you can just say anything that is not job related, anything that would make you happy. I'll tell you a cliche, I want to travel the world, mostly young people. Okay, cool, then you want to travel the world, so let's make a plan for the next 3 years. We put money aside every month, and in 3 years' time, you could travel the world for 6 months and it will not cost you any money. Would that be something? Yeah, let's do that. That's a cliche, right? But it goes way deeper. If I'm going to give you one example. I have one of my best creatives went on a holiday in Mexico and fell in love with a Mexican girl, obviously. So he came back heartbroken. Since then, every 3 months, he traveled to Mexico, which is, okay, fine. Problem was that I lost him for 4 weeks every time, and he's my best creative. So because he was gone for 2 weeks, and when he gets back, he's heartbroken. I don't get him back for 2 weeks again. So we asked him, like, listen, man, just step aside from this classical plan, and we have an idea for you. What if, and I'm sure it will make you happy, what if that Mexican girl that we just hired her? We did. And she's fantastic. I mean that from a very intellectual point of view. She's absolutely amazing. So you keep people happy with a plan, right? Because I'm absolutely convinced that if you want to raise the creative bar, that is one of the little secrets that are there that people underestimate continuously. You just make greater work when you feel perfectly well somewhere. And when you make greater work, I'm a creative. You'll see it'll be very chaotic. I confirm all cliches about creatives. But when you make great work, it's like being drug addicted. You have your shot. Every time you get to great ideas out there, it's a shot you set yourself. It makes you happy. So when you're happy, you make great work, and when you make great work, it'll make you happy. That's one. Second, there will be, I guess, a lot of conversations about tech. And 2 weeks ago, somebody was still talking to me about digital and digital revolution. Guys, digital revolution is over. Digital has won. It's tech now. It's technological revolution. And obviously in the agency, if you want to raise the creative bar, you need tech people. You need people who understand coding, tech, data. You need them. But you know what? You absolutely need tech virgins. I'm one. I haven't got a clue. This is the perception about me and my agency. We won a lot of innovation prizes. We won Grand Prix in data and I got named Innovative Person of the Year. This is reality. I haven't got a clue. I really don't. I can't code. I can use my computer, but that's about it. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I am. But that's about it. And I'm a technological virgin. So here's the thing. This is my daughter. This is in Italy. Not we had some wine, but I had some wine. And I was talking to her, and I was, asking the cliché question that you ask at a certain moment to your children, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Do you have passions? What is it that you want to do? And she gave me this very strange answer. She says, I want to be my sister's horse. So, not just a horse, but very specifically, my sister's horse. This is how the industry, and this is how a lot of agencies react to such answers. On a metaphorical point of view, I mean, they will go like, yeah, but that's not possible. Nah, that's not going to work, darling. What I answered was like, oh, that's great. You should. White, brown horse? Which kind of horse do you want to be? Yeah. This actually, when she answered that, and it's true, I called my mom shortly after, and I asked her the same question. Like when I was a child, by the way, this is me when I was a child. When I was a child, did you ever ask me? And she said, yeah, I did. And what did I answer? And I gave a very strange answer too. I want to. It's true. Very strange. So I guess I do remember slightly that, I wanted to be a surgeon, I guess, or a psychopath. I became neither of both yet. So what's the point here? I think the point that I want to make is that there is a huge, huge benefit when it comes to creative in absolutely not knowing what is not possible. It opens up everything, and I don't want to know, and I don't want my creatives to know. Whether they tech or not, I don't care. There is a lot of tech involved in what we do. Obviously, there's a lot of, when you have ideas and you do creative problem solving for your clients, when you come to a solution, a lot of times there's tech involved, but I don't think that we can start from tech, or that we can start from digital, or that we can start, by the way, from anything. You just find the best possible solution. And I embrace and celebrate and hug the people that do not know what is not possible, because they come up with the most creative solutions. And then afterwards, you need all the other people to make sure that it can actually happen. Yes, but no. That's the kind of thing you know continuously. I'm going to show you one example.
Ik hoorde dat er goed nieuws was. Dat er maar 640 verkeersslachtoffers waren. maar 640. Mijn zoon, Falco, was nummer 22.
Als je dit hoort, is er iemand overleden in het verkeer. Nummer 260. Sinds januari. Nummer 260 in de statistieken. Maar vooral een mens. En altijd iemands kind. Alsjeblieft, rij voorzichtig. 260. Zijn er 260 te veel? Een boodschap van ouders van verongelukte kinderen. Zoals ik. Nummer 261, nummer 262, nummer 263, nummer 264, 265, 266, 267.
So let me give you the yes but no's. So you come up with the idea. I don't want to make a radio commercial, not 2, not 3. I want to make 600, 580, 640. Will be depending on the number of people dying in traffic. Is that possible? Everybody will go like, oh, great idea. Yeah, but no, because we don't have the money, we don't have the resources. How can we do that? How many times do you want to go into studio? Wait. I don't want 600 of them. I actually want them in real time. Who's media here? Media people? Great. Then real time radio, how do you do that? Because there's a commercial breakdown. You have to deliver your commercials a few weeks in advance, 3 days in advance, but real time, that's like really difficult, yes, but no. There's another one. I don't want them to be real time. I actually want them to be linked to the traffic police data. So that means that when somebody actually died, and it's in their data, I want it to be immediately transmitted to the radio stations and out there. And I mean, it has to be within 20 minutes, otherwise it's no longer real time. Yeah, yes, but no, continuously. Another one that has nothing to do with traffic, with tech, is and I want the radio commercials to be done by real parents of road victims. I want them to come to the studio and read the text and give the number. A lot of yes but no's continuously. Did it happen? It did. It did. It's just you can't give in. You have to continue and be strong. I advise all my creatives to do fighting sports, all of them, not because they learn certain moves, because they got kicked. When you got kicked, I'm a Krav Maga practitioner. The interesting part of it is sometimes I don't kick back. Just I get hit, not because I'm a masochist, but just because I learn to take it and then hit back. That's what you do as a creative, continuously. People will tell you no all the time, but you will make it happen. So what do we do in the agency? Happiness, No is forbidden. Nobody says no in our agency. And not to the coffee stuff, but I mean to the creative stuff, yeah? Nobody ever will say no. If we come up with an idea, anytime, people will go like, okay, that'll be a challenge. Can I think about this one? Can you give me 2 days? You find another solution? I think this is going to be really difficult, but have you considered this and this and this and this? Constructive. Again, try it. It's going to be amazing. I believe that as an agency, if you want to raise the creative bar, there's one thing that you should absolutely do. That is try to be continuously immune to the impossible. You just refuse impossible. I'm going to give you another example, if it works. Wait.
Almost home. Only 11 characters, but also 289 meters of driving blind. Introducing Blind Meters, a radical new take on the prevention of texting and driving. Blind Meters turns Google Maps into a text editor, allowing you to type on any road. A custom-made font connects to the speed limitation data of the road you're typing on and stretches to the exact number of meters you miss when texting and driving. This is how it works. Our algorithm connects different databases and layers them onto one website. One source, Google Maps, is used as the primary visual layer. Another source allows us to use the geometry data of the roads. This, together with the speed limits and other data, allows you to type and render texts along roads on top of the satellite image. The font is custom-made for the purpose of being able to dynamically stretch to the exact number of meters you miss while texting. The results are eye-opening. "We'll be 10 minutes late, honey," for example, is 592 blind meters on a 90 km/h road, and up to 789 meters when the speed limit is 120. Press quickly picked it up, spreading the word.
De vereniging Ouders van Verongelukte Kinderen start een campagne om te tonen hoe vaak het is.
www.blindmeters.com
Resulting in millions of earned media impressions. People engaged massively. So far, over 15 million blind meters were typed. And it's now also officially part of the National Driving School program. So, how many meters are you driving blind? Try it for yourself. Blindmeters.com, an initiative of parents of road victims.
Can you imagine the number of yes but no's this got? Because you can come up with the ideas like I want the actual blind meters to be there on Google Maps. There's a lot of yes but no's. The next one I'm going to show is worse. It's a commercial one for one of the biggest telcos in Belgium. We had this idea at a certain moment, and I'm not going to explain it because the film would explain. But this one was crucial because when you talk about culture of the agency, on the next idea you will see, my chief innovation came to me to say can we have a private chat? And he told me listen, Geoffrey. I know that we don't say no. I'm partner of the agency, so I know. But this is not possible. It's forget it, man. I mean, you've been pushing this for 4 weeks now. You're tiring our troops. It's impossible. You can't. Now, it did happen. I'll talk about it afterwards.
Buffer rage. Data shows that over 50% of people experience it every day. It's a state of uncontrollable anger induced by the interruption of online content or streaming video. We all know how it feels to stare at this goddamn motherfucking buffering wheel, don't we? To promote Belgium's fastest internet from the country's biggest telecom challenger, VU, we decided to hijack this symbol of rage and frustration. The hijacking of the buffer wheel began with a collaboration of Belgian media sites and streaming services. We adapted the code of their loading screens by adding a new line of code with an additional message. Load up to 2 times faster with VU. After 1.44 seconds, our competitive claim would appear because data shows that VU customers never have to wait more than 1.5 seconds for video to load. So, for the first time ever, we made sure that every time non-VU customers were confronted with the problem, they were offered a solution. We reached 70% of our target audience at the exact moment they were frustrated with our competitors' service. In the first 5 days, over 2 million messages were displayed. Retargeting was used to drive conversion, leading to a 20% increase in sales. Yes, indeed, with a bit of code and some media collaborations, we managed to turn the actual buffering wheel into a new advertising medium with a very convincing message. Load up to 2 times faster with VU. VU Telecom, you first.
So here's another secret. It's and it's a difficult one for creatives, and I do know. It's open up. And you know, a lot of creatives, when they think they have a genius idea, or when they think they have a good idea, they don't talk about it, because they're afraid that somebody will steal it, that it's out there, and then, you know, before you know, competition comes up with the same idea as you, and then, you're so frustrated, so you don't. We try to avoid that. We actually talk. So when my chief innovation said, like, there's a lot of things you could do with buffer wheels and video and whatever, but you can't actually do something with the real buffer wheel because it's on different platforms, it's impossible. So everybody continuously said it's impossible until I had a coffee with one of my coders. He's the cliché of a coder. He's very introvert, he doesn't talk a lot. And I just explained that we wanted to do something, turn the actual buffer wheel into a medium where I can place a message. And he said, look, that's easy. People have been telling me it's impossible for 4 weeks. So first I've asked if he'd been smoking, because you never know. And he said, no, that's easy, it's just a line of code. The buffer wheel is code. So every website has its code, and they put their buffer wheel, it's code. So if you take the code, and you put another line of code there, it's done, it's easy. You see, open up, talk to people. If you want to be immune to the impossible, you need to talk to people about your ideas with very, very different people that you normally talk to. Talk to everybody about it. There's always somebody saying like, oh, that's easy. So when we understood it's just a line of code, then media came in, because then it's easy. You take your media partners, we go like, it's just a line of code, here's the line. Literally one line. So the only thing I need is you to help us out for Woo, to have media partners, to have websites of whom we can collaborate. So instead of investing our money in banners or whatever other digital thing you could do, I'm investing in partnership, and I just sent them a line of code that they use for a month. That's it. It's a different way of spending your money. By the way, it was much cheaper also, because the collaboration was cheaper than the whole digital plan. So it always works. The point is, it's not, you would have understood, it's not technology that is going to hold us back, it's purely our imagination. The only limitation that we have in today's world is our own imagination. So I believe that if you lose your inner child, if you can't be the daughter saying, I want to be my sister's horse, if you can't be like that as a creative, it will not work. You need to be a child. You need your inner child to let go, and let go of your imagination, which is when we understood about 3 months ago this point. We opened up, we have an agency in Brussels and one in Saigon, in Vietnam, and we opened up a playground in Valencia, in Spain, which is actually a place where creatives literally can go and play. So over there, you can get your inner child. You won't have the stress of your agency, because believe me, I believe that only 10% of agencies really have a creative culture. I believe we're one of those. But even in the agency with creative culture, there's a lot of day-to-day stress, you know, meetings, people. I don't know who's the creative here, but when you're a creative and people come to you, go like, do you have something? No? And, you know, and the day after you go like, do you have something? It's deadline, you know? Presentation tomorrow, pitch presentation, wow, and you have to be like, yeah, I'm going to be genius. Over there, they don't have that. No timesheets, no timings, no nothing, you know. What we do there is very simple. It's ideation, education, and R&D. So ideation, obviously, they don't get one brief a day, one idea a day that you have to deliver. They get one brief for a week, maybe 2. Believe me, that's a luxury. That's a luxury. You don't get that in the agency. Education, we send over. I have 3 absolutely amazing top creatives who live there. They are staying there. It's not an office, so that means that they work for Saigon and they work for Brussels. That's it. They only work for those 2 agencies. They're not a separate agency. I have 3 top creatives. They take on all the briefs, but what we do is we fly in other creatives, 2 or 3, every 3 weeks. So they stay over there for 3 weeks to 4 weeks. So fundamentally, they don't go for a week. It's forbidden to have sangria and alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. Yeah, you can go and play, and you have complete freedom, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. So they really focus on the work and on ideation all day, all night, or not day, I don't care. The only thing we do is we have a phone call every day, or a Skype call, or a FaceTime call, and we look at ideas. That's it, right? It's also R&D. We try to work differently over there with each other, with clients. We involve clients all the time with Playground, and we look. And if we found new ways of collaborating over there, we implement it in the two agencies. So there's a lot of things we do over there. The rules are very simple. Everybody continuously talk about zero waste. I can assure you that as a creative person, I waste a lot of energy on stuff that I shouldn't be wasting my energy on. I want my creatives to be focused on creative. Yeah? Think about ideas. I don't want you to be focused on timesheets, on other administrational stuff. I want you to be focused on finding the best possible solution to solve a business problem for our clients. That's it, nothing else. That's what they should be focusing on, so there's nothing else in the Playground. Another thing that we have at the Playground is the out of the blue versus out of the box. What I mean by that is I really believe that 90% of all advertising is absolutely invisible, and that a lot of the other 10% is out of the box, and that stinks. It's a strange expression, I know, but you smell the sweat of the out-of-the-box ideas. You know, we have to go out of the box now. You know, and people start sweating because I have to go out of the box. So even those ideas feel very searched, you feel the sweat and the intention, and it's very difficult to. I really want people to be, all of you, by the way, to be much more spontaneous again. We have a fantastic job. I mean, communication and advertising is fantastic. It's not the service industry, forget it. It's the makers industry. We make work that people will love, talk about, share, and so it needs to be much more spontaneous. That's why we called it Out of the Blue. So I'm a bit in shortage of time because of what happened. I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to, it's one of the ideas, but of which I believe it's out of the blue. Which might have a huge impact, and I asked the organization to stop filming now. And I'm going to have to ask you, please don't take pictures, don't share. I know that you all want to be popular for shares and likes. Don't, just for 2 minutes, don't. What I'm going to show you now is something that we are doing for the last 4 weeks. Nobody knows, you're actually the first ones to know. It's not official yet. It'll be official, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere halfway next week. We're actually corrupting drug dealers. Yeah. So what drug dealers do, I don't know how it works in Bucharest, but in Brussels and London and a lot of places, what they do, if they have huge databases, they're not that different from you, you know. They have huge databases, and guess what? The database is much more important than the drugs, because they have huge databases of users. And what they do is they send promotions, really, to the users. So they go like, oh, I've got some lovely cocaine here. If you buy 2, I can give you 3. You get 1 for free. That's how it works, continuously, 7 times a day. So people who are addicted get those messages continuously. People who are no longer addicted or try to get rid of it, you know, they get the triggers continuously, and you can't get out of the database. It's really difficult. So we found a solution for that. We can't get rid of drug dealers. You can't get rid of the databases, but you can mess with them, right? So this is what we do. Please don't share. Okay. Thank you. So it'll be out there, but it'll be anonymous. So it's Mothers Against Drugs, which is, by the way, an organization that is in London, New York, Brussels, in a lot of cities, and they also are anonymous mothers. So it will be completely anonymous. You understand why it's anonymous? Because I think we might just get killed because of this. Anyway, I love my job. Yeah. But not that much. Okay. So it all seems impossible until it is done, which is my favorite quote from Mandela. Did that make any sense? Okay. So my point was, I have 5 things. 1, be positive, be constructive, be good, happiness. It's very strange, but it's so helpful when it comes to creative. Hooray for the tech virgins. Don't go in the cliche of, well, you don't understand technology. Great, fantastic, but are you a good creative? Can you think? Are you a good strategist? Are you a good accountant? That's the question, not the question if you're tech. Creativity needs play. I believe we don't play enough. I'm not religious. Not. Do you know what that means? There's nothing. There's a bit of playtime. There's nothing. It's quite depressing. So let's play a bit more in the playtime. Creativity is a culture, which I told you it's the most important one, because it's not a guy on a stage in Bucharest that defines creativity. Not at all. I have nothing. I never take the credits for anything. It's not me. It's not, the 20, 30, 80, 40, it doesn't matter how many creatives you have in your department. It's not the department, it's not even the agency. It's basically culture. How do you install a culture? And culture, it's really easy. Culture is nothing but the consistent repetition of the same behavior. So if you consistently repeat the same behavior, you have a culture. And who can do that? Who needs to install that? Management. So if your management is not fan of creative, it doesn't believe in the ultimate creative solution for business problems, it's not going to work. You will never have a creative culture. Never. And last but not least, I didn't talk about it, but I just kept it as my last slide. When we talk growth, everybody always talks about figures. We have to grow the agency. What do they mean? If they say we have to grow the agency, we have to grow the number of people, we have to grow the revenue. It's always numbers, 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 numbers. We don't. We really look at the numbers at the very last moment when we have some time left, and it's true. So I lead agencies to bankruptcy for sure, but my business partner is responsible for that, and she does the same thing. The only thing we look at 2 times a year is, did we grow in greatness? Have our people become better? Did we become better? Did the agency become better? How is the perception now of the agency? How is Saigon doing? How is Brussels doing? If we open up a 3rd shop, then where will it be? And will it be for greatness or will it be for the numbers? So we go for greatness. And then, the magic is that numbers always follow. Somehow, clients come. We don't pitch a lot. We hardly ever pitch, actually. But they come and they want to work with us, so that's fine. Thank you.